We're good to go live. All right. So, John, here we are. SoulPedal.
Scott.
Back from NAMM a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was a good time. Great turnout. Got some good publicity.
Good feedback, which was the main thing we wanted to know. What do you guys want? What's working? What doesn't work? Having a few people try it on, and we learned a lot from the show, and we're improving it every day, actually.
Yeah, and we got some great publicity in a couple magazines. There's still some being written and worked out, but hopefully everybody has seen the top 10 things to see at NAMM from the Guitar World Online, or Guitar World Magazine Online, that is.
Yeah.
We'll put a link down below in the video so people can check that out. But it's great to be featured there, and it was great to be there. So why don't you tell them a little bit about SoulPedal, what it is, what it does.
Right now, I've got it in my shoe, or in my sandal actually, is a pedal, and I'm controlling. You can see the wah-wah here. I'm controlling it with pressure. Now you can control it with angle, but basically you got a pressure sensor in here, and it's wirelessly communicating to this box here. This is not part of it. It's just my my audio wireless coming in, and then it's got the gesture, so you kick it to turn it on and off, and that's the basic unit.
So,
right?
So the main point is that it is a standalone wah, and the most important aspect of it is that it is wireless. So from anywhere on stage, you can control the wah, so you're not stuck at your pedal board. And so if you're out at the front of the stage jamming out with your singer, you're up front, and then you can kick it on, do your wah-wah parts, kick it off, and then keep going. You don't have to go back to your pedal.
Anyway,
This
so
works
that's
like any wah pedal.
an analog being controlled digitally through optics. So I'll get into that another time, but it separates the digital from the analog. So you're getting a true analog sound, just like you're operating a Crybaby or something like that, but you're remote, so anywhere you want it. And it doesn't take as much floor space, right?
Right. Right. So, and then on top of it being a wah pedal just by itself, you can, as we both have alluded to, you have a fractal board down the ground here, and I have a Line 6 modeling amp. Through the magic of MIDI and various foot gestures, you can send MIDI signals to these to change patches, to change parameters, etc.
All right, so the MIDI part, right? So about 3 years ago, the wall was cool and everything, but my goal was, the name of the company is Clean Stage LLC. And so I was trying to, the original vision was to get this all completely, your stage is clean, all your effects are backstage, and you don't need the...
But so to your point, you typically, like with my amp, I have a pedal board on stage, and we intentionally don't have it in the set today because we don't need it.
And let's get into the MIDI part, really.
Sure.
So I've got gestures here, and this is we made this dongle that talks to the box and the pedal, and so this is an app we wrote as a monitor mode and to configure the box or the pedal, right, to your liking.
One of the common questions I had at NAMM when we had this up to display was, it's not necessary you don't need the software running to use it during a show.
Right.
You would use this to configure your pedal ahead of time and to do the programming and to do monitoring, etc. It's a good demo though to show what the actual actions are happening. So why don't you tell us a little about the MIDI now, and we'll use the software interface to show kind of what's going on.
Yeah, sure. So the MIDI part is for your switching, and what it is basically MIDI out into the back of the FM3.
Or any other device that will accept
right. Except anything with a MIDI in, I can send out of this currently CC and PC. So
tell us about the interface, a little bit what we're going to see there, and about the MIDI control.
Sure. Okay. So right now, this first tab here is monitor mode, and it's just kind of showing. You can see the foot going up and down. So it's tracking my Y angle, and that's important because that's how I determine when that I kicked it, right? So that angle is critical. And then when I just swing it and then bring it and positive as if there were a pedal board there. So it brings up my switching, and when I rotate my foot, I can select which switch I want, right? And so I've got to set it up for these 3, for example.
So each of those 5 switches can be configured to a specific, to send a specific code that then triggers your board.
Right, right. So, and that happens in the box settings, right? But what's kind of cool is if I take one of these and I hold it down, and now I can rotate it and I can adjust the CC level. So it could be a volume level or an effect level.
From talking about the switches, I started out with just using a single switch when I migrated to the MIDI devices, right? We met and I just started using it as a wall pedal.
That's all I had.
We started talking at a gig in between sets, and I saw this crazy guy come up to me with looked like a Dr. Scholl insert in his hand and this other box, and he was pushing buttons and it was lighting up, and so we started talking in between sets, and he's like, take it home, give it a whirl, and I gigged with it the next week just as a wall pedal because it was that easy to transform into use and put to use. I Bandit, and Bandit is a accomplished player as well.
And we're going to get into MIDI, right?
Yeah. So so as you said, you can configure it for 1, 3, 5, and it really depends on what you want to use. When I started using it after I graduated from just using it as the wah pedal, as you developed and it grew, I just used it as a single switch to trigger my boost. So I could trigger my wah and trigger my boost, so I could stay at the front of the stage and do my leads. I could use my wah without having to go back to my pedal board, which gave me a lot of freedom to dance around with our singers and the crowd, and it really enhances the performance aspect of what you're delivering. And then I moved on to 3, so I was triggering my boost, I was doing a tap tempo, and then using it to trigger a delay on lane. But to your point of this, the knob that you get is, I could turn on my delay, and then by continuing to maintain pressure, then turn that knob and increase the mix level of my delay. So I could start with a really tight delay, and as I play through my solo, I could really expand it out and bring it back. So I could do that dynamically. And then I use it to trigger on my clean channel, I use it to trigger my overdrive, so I can be just, jamming out some clean chords, and then just get a little bit of a grit or edge so that I can do a lead or go a little bit more bluesy. So, and that's all triggered from the MIDI on my amp. So, all right, well, that's a quick overview of the SoulPedal. So again, it is a wireless wah pedal and wireless media controller. Check back with us. We're going to go into more depth here over the next few weeks and go into a little bit more about how you configure it, how you can use it for MIDI. We're working with some MIDI to DMX conversion that allows you to control lights. We've had some vocalists try this out using vocal effects as well, and it's anything, again, that can be controlled MIDI.
Yeah, so take care. We'll put out some more videos and keep in touch.